Hello, Little Mouse. Chapter 16. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira. Artwork by CandyFluffs on Instagram. You can find a link to CandyFluffs in the description box as well as her store. Whoop! Go check her out. And if you're still listening, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment in the comment section. If you don't know what to comment, put confession. Please enjoy Hello, Little Mouse, Chapter 16. Adrien Agreste, as lighthearted as Disney karaoke. This is it! This is it! Marinette reached over to tap Adrien's shoulder, then retreated her hand. They were on opposite sides of the couch, and he didn't know how to close the distance. Sure, he'd sat down next to her at first, so why was there this gap? Yes it is. Ariel's pinnacle moment. Part of your world, or however it translated. He'd only ever seen it in English, which wasn't something he regretted until this moment, watching Marinette burst out into song as she sang along. He wished he could join her. He wished he could slide over to her and put his arm around her shoulders. Wait, no. That'd be too forward. They weren't even dating yet. Sure, he might be a hypocrite considering how he's treated Ladybug, but he and Marinette were a different dynamic. A different relationship. Wait. Did Marinette only agree to a date because he was Cat Noir? Because she liked Cat in the past? And here he thought he was on track to a happy chapter. A chapter that, for once, referenced both sides of his life. He was wrong. Adrien? Oops. The song finished, and Marinette's eyes filled with concern as he drew his attention back to reality. That's really fun, he said, looking back toward the television. I'd never had known about the changes if you hadn't told me. I know, right? Her giggle bounced across the room, a contrast to his festering goofy loop. He was doing it again. Overthinking, reading too much into it. Why couldn't he just be happy? Marinette paused the movie, turning toward him. What's wrong? Excuse me? Something's off. She bit her thumbnail. Tell me about it. So direct. And so perfect. How had she known about his doubts? Remember what I said about liking you? About dating? Her face paled. Oh, he was right after all. Yeah? You aren't just... He swallowed, rubbing the insides of his knuckles against his kneecaps. I'm not here just because I'm Cat Noir, right? Marinette blinked twice, then started laughing. What? No! He wasn't sure if he was relieved or insulted. It's not then? No, of course not. I mean, yeah, it helps, but, well, you see, the thing is... She flailed her hands around like a kindergarten storytime narrator. It's not that I don't like Cat Noir, but, She trailed off, looking at the ceiling, looking anywhere but at him as his heart sank. If she was an iceberg sparkling in the ocean, he was the Titanic. He should have seen it coming, but barreled into this head first without a second thought, and he couldn't blame anyone as he sank except himself. It's fine, he said, turning his eyes to the screen. Never mind. Forget about it. Never had watching a Disney movie seemed so awkward. Even Plague couldn't make a room feel this way, and he'd spent more than a year with the little guy. Marinette didn't continue, and he couldn't tell if he proved himself right or cut her off entirely from it. That's not it. He looked over at her whisper, so quiet he might have imagined it as she stared at the television, but his heart lurched when he saw her face. Tears rolled down her cheeks, silent like a confession. Oh no. He'd messed up. Again. And this time he hurt her, although he didn't know how. Marinette? Her name got stuck in his throat. Marinette? He tried again. Sorry. She turned away, and, despite his hidden shoujo beat volume stacked behind old science textbooks and graduated piano sheets, Adrien hadn't the slightest idea how to respond. Cookie dough, he yelled, slapping a hand over his mouth at the volume. Marinette turned back, blinking her glazed eyes, but it didn't look like there were more tears swelling up. That's a plus. At least for now. Cookie dough? She echoed. Yeah! No choice but to roll with it now. Cookie dough. Cookie dough. Yeah! He reached out to grab her hand, unable to conjure up a smile, but at least his eyes weren't that of a wild, pleading man. Probably. Let's make cookie dough together. Her mouth split, a crease forming between her eyebrows as she stared. You want to make cookie dough? A sniffle split her sentence. How? Adrien's heart tugged, begging him not to say it, but he plowed through. The one superpower he had was to confess under any circumstances, or so it seemed. Yeah, I've always wanted to bake with the girl I like. Her eyes widened, and the misunderstanding certainly hadn't cleared, but the mood seemed a bit brighter now. Who could be truly sad when thinking about vanilla and chocolate wafting through the air? Okay. She coughed a giggle, wiping her face with her free hand. But, Adrien? Yeah? She looked away. It's not because you're Cat Noir. I mean, it's a bonus, but that's not why I... Marinette began. That's not why I... Adrien didn't mean to stare, but it's not like she held eye contact. What was it? What was she going to say? Should he let the dread in, or traitorous butterflies? Okay, bad analogy. Hopeful butterflies. Should he let those in? You! Marinette all but shouted. Me? Adrien blinked twice. He'd missed it. You? He pointed to her, then himself, hoping she'd fill in the gap. Me? Yeah, she nodded, her ears red as she stared at the couch cushions. Adrien let go of her hand, and she stiffened. Should he not? No. Shoot your shot, Agreste. What better couple than cat and mouse? He reached out, lifting her chin with his thumb and forefinger until they locked eyes. I like you, Marinette, for a lot of reasons. It was a gamble, but her still darkening cheeks was his prize. He'd put coins on the right side of the table. You like me? She echoed. Yeah, I like you. The first sting of embarrassment poked his chest, and he realized just how cringeworthy this might look to an outsider. Like, As a friend? He laughed. This was the opposite of talking to Ladybug about his feelings. Yes, he nodded. But also in a, I hope this girl becomes my girlfriend, kind of like. She swallowed. Officially? Marinette squeaked. At your pace, Adrien said, doing his best to seem like the cool male lead his romance books testified worked for getting the girl. But, she bit her lip. But? Ladybug. Oh, he'd better clear that up. Ladybug isn't the one here on the couch singing along to a Disney movie, Marinette. Slowly, almost slow enough to make him sweat, Marinette's face grew into a smile almost too big for her face. So, dating? Yeah, dating. Adrien pressed his hand atop hers. Will you be my girlfriend? Marinette, pink and beaming, nodded. Yes. It came out as a squeak. Yes, I will. Oh, look at that. For the first time in forever, Adrien felt like he just might have some luck after all. Thank you so much for listening. Chapter 17 is on the way. In the meantime, you can check out these other videos for more fan fiction. And if you've listened to the end, comment Adrien's girlfriend. I will catch you in the next one. Bye!